Support Services program here at Southeastern Community College. We are thrilled to have all of you here today. We are celebrating the success of our first-generation college students, faculty, and staff here at SCC. This day marks a celebration nationwide of first-generation college students. We are pleased to have the support of SCC's Student Board, TRIO Upward Bound, and TRIO SSS. We are so glad to have you all here today, and I would also like to share with you that we have many ways to celebrate our first-generation students. In the room, you'll see that we have lots of opportunities to take photos, grab a button, and also don't forget to write on the poster what being first means to you. As we finish our time together here today, we also want to invite all of you students to a leadership and lunch with Harvey directly after our keynote speaker. Now,
good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? Good. First generation. Are the high school kids, raise your hands that are here from the high school. Are you guys all going to be first generation too? Possibly, yes. First generation. I am a first generation. And I will tell you, I walked into college having no idea what that means. And I hope by the end of our lunch today, you guys get an idea of what that means. And I'm going to start off right away with, I'm going to share my story. That's all I want to do with you today in this part of the talk, is share my story. And I'm going to start out with this box. I always try and find a box so I don't carry a box around with me. My senior year, March, my mom came to me with a box, a big, huge box with boots in it. And she said, "Hey, this is for you." And I don't remember, I don't think she used the words proud, but she said, "These are for you." I'm like, "What is that?" And I was like, I could see that they're boots, you can see the picture on it. And she's like, "You'll need new boots for your job." And she was expecting me to graduate high school and go out and find a job. Everybody say job. Job. Let's say it again, job. Job. One more time, job. Job. Does that make you feel good when you say job? No. Listen to this, job, J-O-B, stands for just over broke. That's what it stands for. I'm going to be honest with you. It stands for just over broke. I want you to understand why you're here and your reason why you're here. So she gave me these boots, and I took those boots and I thought, man, that's my mom. My mom gave me these boots. She expects me to go out and find a job, work a job at some mill in Chicago. That was her expectancy of me. That's what she thought. That's what my environment said about where I grew up. You're going to go out and get a job. A high school diploma is great. I'm the first one a high school diploma, first one an associate's degree, bachelor's degree. I got half of my master's degree. I plan on going back and finishing that in the next couple of years, but I am the first, just like a lot of you will be the first. I hope at least your parents graduated high school. Mine didn't. Both my mom and dad dropped out of high school. Got married, all of that fun stuff, but dropped out of high school, so I am the first. But I want you to imagine in the story, what are your steel-toed boots? What does your environment say? Here's the cool thing. You guys are in college. That means that you're trying to break out of this. That means you're trying to get beyond this. What your community, what your environment says that you are, you're trying to break that. But I want you to remember, it's always there because we grew up in it. Those boots are always there. I kept those boots in community college. I kept those boots through college. I wish I still had them. Somewhere along all the moves I made, I lost them, but I kept them. Every time I opened the closet, there they were, to remind me that someone else's opinion of me, somebody like my mom, is close to me, their opinion of me was not mine. I was a dream chaser, guys. That's what I'm doing here today. My dream propelled me beyond everything that my environment said that I should be. And that's where I'll start. So again, my name is Harvey Harrington. I was born in Mississippi. I lived there until the end of second grade. My mom moved my brother and I up to Chicago. I lived on the south side of Chicago through high school. And from Blue Island High School, Eisenhower High School in Blue Island, I lived in Calumet Park. From there, I went to Moraine Valley Community College. My grades weren't good. I wasn't a good student. From Moraine Valley Community College to Western Illinois University. Graduated with my degree in kinesiology, or corporate fitness is what it was called back then. From there, I went to the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts, I had a career-ending injury. 6 months later, It took me 3 weeks to be able to walk again, but 6 months later I started playing arena football. I live in Eldridge, Iowa, great community, to pursue another career. I'm career oriented. That career was to move up in the fitness industry, but it really wasn't. It was to do what I'm doing here. I just didn't get it until I got pushed into it. So I travel the nation. I travel around doing this. I just found out about Trio this year, and I'm so excited about it because I get to talk to me. As I sit here, I just think about what could I have said to me when I was sitting in this audience to get me over the humps that I went through. So I would say up until today, right now at this moment, I live an amazing life. I do, an unbelievable life with an amazing wife and 3 amazing kids and a knucklehead kid down in Florida trying to figure out his way. But great, that's what brought me here, right? Professional football, all of that stuff. But my life wasn't always that way. I told you I was born in Mississippi. My mom and dad were high school sweethearts. They got married. Right after they dropped out of high school, had me at 20, got divorced at 21. Such a bad divorce that my dad left my mom and I, not wanting anything to do with his first and only born son. In life, we carry around baggage. We carry around damage. That was my first piece of baggage. I call it chains. So my dad took off. He was gone. He was heartbroken. Nothing to do with me. And that just destroyed me. I don't know. I know the percentages, 50% or higher, divorce, household, and all that stuff. I know some of you can relate to this. It just come to me to say this to you. If your dad's not in your life and you're looking for a relationship with him, like I did for a long time, until my grandmother died on a day before my 16th birthday. I went down for the funeral, there it was, and in my mind I was done. But up until that point, I get emotional just talking about it. I don't talk about it a lot in front of people. I was trying to fill a void. I wanted him in my life so bad. So bad, I needed a dad. Every man, every boy, every young male needs a man in his life to show him how to be a man. But here's the thing that I'm learning too as a dad. Every young lady needs a man, a father figure in her life to show her how a man should treat a woman. And now I don't have that. I don't have it. My wife has it. Her grandparents were, until her grandfather died, married for like 99 years or something crazy like that, you know. But I don't have it. I'm missing that. It's a void. It's a hole. And I hate to tell you this, guys, if you don't have it, that hole can't be filled. The only way I fill that hole is every day. When I'm home, I get to take my kids to school, pick them up. Every day, I create something to do with my children to figure out how to be a great dad. But I have to share that with people because, man, we yearn for it. Even if you don't know it, you yearn for it. That's a chain that I carry around every day. That's a part of my environment that I carry around every day that can hold me back. So she moved us to, let me go back and catch that. After they got divorced, my mom kind of lost her mind. She started leaving me with people. I'd wake up in houses, guys, with people I didn't know. She'd leave me, drop me off with family, drop me off with friends, people I didn't know. I woke up in houses I had no idea of where I was. Another chain. No stability, no home life. No stability and no home life. How old is a kid in first, second grade? I don't know. How old is my son? My son's 7. So 7 and younger. So then we moved to Chicago, my brother and I. We get up here in the summer, my brother decides he wants to go back and stay with his dad. We had different dads, and I stayed here with my mom. Through high school, I'm gonna cut out some of the parts of this, but I'm 6'3", 310 pounds right now. I used to play at about 327, and I'm starting to, with age, but I'm a huge man. I know that I am. I'm the largest thing in my generational bloodline. We've gone back and checked. My brother's 6 foot, my sister's 6 foot, my mom's 5'9", my dad's 5'9", my grandmother's a midget. So my mom must carry the gene because my siblings, we have different lives, different dads. And I always say I willed myself to get this big because of how hard I work. I don't know why, but I'm just that big. But inside of me lives this little kid that I'm talking to you about. I moved to Chicago, overweight, short, really small, with zero self-esteem. Didn't have anybody to feed me. Way some of you may be fed right now, or some of you may not. I didn't have anybody to feed me. I want you to understand the stuff that I'm putting in that box of steel-toe boots. the baggage that we carry. So that's chains of no stability, that's chains of mental weakness. When I was in 4th and 5th grade, I was physically abused by my mother's best friend's son. For 2 years, he took my life away from me. So bad that I just decided to never leave the house. Just destroyed me. So I'm going through this stuff in life as I grow up. By the time I graduated high school, I had 8 different dads. 8 different. My mom had relationship issues, still does. 60-something years old, still does. Wouldn't you call that more chains? Isn't that more damage? Isn't that more crap? I'm telling you this story because I want you to think about, as a first-generation person, what you may be carrying around that may stop you. And I want you to understand what will get you through those things. So I graduated high school with all of that. Graduated high school, first one. Then I go to college. Why did I go to college? I went to college to play football. I didn't go to community college to get my associate's degree. I don't want to kid you and make you think this is the student. Okay, I was a C student all the way through. The only reason I was a C student is because of my love of football, my love of the sport. So I refused to let grades get in the way of me not playing. That's how I met my oldest son. He was ineligible for a game, and so he was a sophomore. He comes along walking, and I asked him, "What are you doing?" And we had this conversation, and that led to him moving into my house. But understand, I want you to understand why you're here. You're not here for a job. You're not here for a job. My wife's family's in Burlington, so I always stop at Casey's or stop somewhere to eat as we head back home. If in 5 years I stop at a restaurant or something here in town, and I won't remember any of you, and you remember me because I'm standing there ordering a cheeseburger and you ask me, would you like a Diet Coke with that? You screwed up. I need you to understand that. You screwed up, meaning that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. Now, if next week, if I do that, you should be working, right, to pay your bills if you need to do that, but not in 5 years. There's a pattern for success. And if you're not following the pattern, that's where you will be. Because if I didn't get my associate's degree, if I didn't get my bachelor's degree, if I didn't play professional football, this would have pulled me back in. I go and I talk to college students, and I get some really sad stories, and I'm sitting there talking to this kid from Delray Beach, Florida, and it's just he and I sitting on a table, and he starts crying. I'm like, what's the matter, dude? He's like, I gotta make it. I gotta make it. If I don't make it, I gotta go back to Florida, and I gotta live inside of my house, and I can't get out because this is waiting for me. It's waiting for me. And I sit there and I looked at him. I said, dude, you're out. That's Florida. Where were we? I was in Upper Iowa somewhere. I was like, that's Florida. You're out already. Are you studying the way you should be doing? No. Okay, then that's going to get you back because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. Think about it. Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing to get out? And as I tell him, I said, you're chasing a dream. You got to let that dream feed you. You got to let that dream pull you. It's so important to know what you want to do. How many of you know exactly what you want to do 4 years from now? So if you're going to a 4-year university, you should graduate in 4 to 5 years. How many of you know 100% what it is that you want to do? Raise your hands, please. 100%. Okay, hands down. That's crap. I'm serious. It's crap. It's crap. You should at least have a list of 4 or 5 things, maybe trying to narrow them down. But understand, if you don't know what it is, that means you just stepped into college because it was the next thing to do. An associate's degree doesn't mean anything if you don't know where you're headed. It just means you can get a job. It just means you can get a job to pay your bills and not go work minimum wage. If you don't know what the heck it is that you want to do, you have to know what it is that you want to do. High schoolers, you have to know what it is that you want to do. It's that important. You've got to have that dream. You've got to have those goals. Those are 2 keys to your success. I'm going to share 4 with you today. You've got to have a dream. Trio, that sign, let's just say that's that sign. Dream to play football. That was my dream. Put your dream on that sign, a dream to play football. What does it give me when I know what I want to do? It gives me direction. Now I want you to think about your parents, think about people you know, think about kids that didn't go to college, that has no dream. When they get T-boned, when they get knocked out, because we all do, when life comes along and smacks you. Ladies, when you have a baby out of wedlock and you have a baby and there's no man, that's T-bone. Guys, when you something, whatever happens to you and you don't get it done, that's T-bone. That's getting knocked out. What happens to people that don't have a dream? They're not inspired. So if they get back up, here's what they do. This is what their life is like. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'll just go get a job at the local factory. I'll go get a job. The word jobs makes me sick every time I hear it. But if you got a dream, athletes in here, think about this. If you got a dream, you get knocked out, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you find it, and you go towards it again. And it'll pull you. Mine pulled me. I had no desire to go to college because my environment wasn't feeding that. My parents wasn't feeding that. But I wanted to play football to be like my dad. I speak because I knew I got lucky with this dream. I got lucky, I got blessed, or whatever you want to call it, to be on this path. My mom shared a story about my dad, the great high school football player. The great high school football player. Every Friday night, she'd talk about Friday night football. I go, your dad play games, and I run up to him, throw my hand around his waist, and we walk off the field. And she told the same story at least 10 times in my life. She's like, one particular time she remembered he was covered in blood. And she stopped and she looked at him. She was like, oh, baby, what's the matter? What's going on? And I didn't even know my dad's voice most of my life. So I made up this voice. So I think that's why I talk with this voice. I made up this voice and I saw this silhouette of a big man. I'm telling you, I willed this. And I imagine him saying what she said. He said to, oh, baby, that wasn't me. I handled business tonight. I handled business all night long. Somebody on the other side, that's his blood. So that became my dream. That was my seed. I wanted to be a high school football player like my dad. Not college. Darn sure not professional. No one ever thought this cat would have been a professional football player. I just wanted to be a high school football player like my dad. That little seed became this huge dream that led me right here. And I tell you that because I need you to understand about your importance. What is your seed? What is your dream? What is your why? What is your goal? What gives you this energy to do this? Because if you don't know it, you're walking around like the rest of them sheep. This is your life. I think I'm getting an associate's degree. I know because I went to school with those people. I went to school with those people. I can see it in their eyes. You've got to figure it out. And I want to back up to that moment, that Tuesday. That Tuesday when I got this message. Can any of you guess where I was that Saturday? Anybody have any idea where I was that Saturday? Come on. I was at the game. Saturday, I don't know what day of the week, my coach said just take the week off. That's too much. My mom, stay home. I wake up on a Saturday morning and I'm laying in bed and I'm just like, I gotta go. I drove myself to the game. It was an away game, and I played that game. Because I played that game, I'm here today. Sometimes when the baby roots hit the fan, you know what I'm saying? When it hits the fan, we can't stand there and let it hit us. We got to move. But I need you to understand. I tell you this story because I want you to understand the power of your dream. That dream, that day, and a whole bunch of other days in my life, lifted me up. And it pulled me out of bed and pulled my butt to go do what I needed to do. You guys have to have that feeling. You have to have that why. You have to be that driven, because if you don't, I'm telling you, first generation, whatever it is, I don't know what your chains are. I don't know what your environment. I come from that community. I come from that brokenness. But I stand here today. And again, yeah, it's an emotional story and all of that. Please don't feel sorry for me. I love who I am. I love what I do. I'm inspired by what I do. And I'm here to tell you that you can do the same thing. Because somebody's telling you you're not smart enough, you don't have the money, this is where you come from, this is what holds you down. Your dream will beat all of that. How many of you are afraid to fail? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Be honest. Be real with yourself. You're afraid to fail. How many of you aren't? Why?
Well, learn in the Army. It's all right to fail at times.
Why?
Because it makes you better.
Why? Keep going, brother. You got it. It makes you better. Ad-lib on that. Give me some more.
Every time you fail, you're learning
Amen. Every time you fail, you learn another way not to do it. I told you I went to the Indianapolis Colts. This little short 4'5" fat kid goes to the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody expects it. Indianapolis Colts. I'm there. The contract's signed. The money's there. I go through camp. Friday, it's a cool down, and I'm cooling down. I do a karaoke move, and something snaps in my back, and my back goes out. I can't walk for 3 weeks, which means you're worthless. I get cut. Darkest day of my life. Sent home. I failed. I had to deal with that. I failed. But I told you I played pro football till I was 32. Mine was powerful. 4 years in arena. Shot with the Chicago Bears, they signed me. I was willing to do, and I had no idea. This is the crazy thing about it. You guys now know. You know. This is the crazy thing about it. I had no idea what I was beating. So this is why I talk to people. Because most of you don't know. Most of you don't know that your parents are negative. Most of you don't know that your community is negative, and you're carrying it around. I didn't know how to study. My mom would ask me, did you get your homework done? I'd say, no. Because that's all I had to do. She didn't care. She didn't know. Think about it. Do you have good study habits? I didn't. So football just pulled me through. You got to get a C, dude. You got to get a C. So I got to do enough work to get a C. And guess what it gave me? My bachelor's degree. Nobody will stop you if you are inspired by what it is that you want to do. So you don't know what it is? Let's talk about it next hour. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. You don't know what change you're carrying around? You better figure it out. Because if you don't, I call them potholes. You got a brand new car, and you're driving down the road of life, and it's full of potholes. The bad things that's holding you down. How many miles can you hang in there if you don't know what they are? Eventually, you're going to tear some crap up. You're going to break some things. So you got to know what your weaknesses are. It's easy to focus on our strengths, guys. My strength was lifting. I used to pound the weights. 5 hours a day was my strengths. I had to learn to focus on my weaknesses to have a smooth ride. To know that I got to bear down and study because I didn't come from that. I came from a very negative environment. You want to cry? That kind of crap? When all your friends go to jail all the time, when you're poor and you wear shoes off the rack, and your friends make fun of you, your friends talk about you, you got a bully that you got to deal with, all of these things. I have to protect myself every day from that, because here's the truth. It don't go away. It doesn't. I've got kids that I have to protect from the crap that exists in here. I've got to protect my relationship because of the crap that exists in here. This wedding ring, I wear it with honor. Like I told you, my brothers and sisters, we all got different dads. My 3 kids, I pulled up in the driveway the other day, and they're sitting, I got half my garage is carpeted with my gym in there, and they're sitting in there doing something. And I pull up, and to me they look like a bunch of little raccoons. And I look at them, and they're all sitting there, and they're smiling at me, and they all look the same. And inside I'm like, oh my, that's just such a blessing. Because I wanted it as a kid. I knew what I wanted. That was another blessing. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be married to one woman. If she leaves me, I'm moving across the street because I will never be that far away from my kids. I know the pain. So you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your kids. You got to protect everything around you. Or else this will get a hold of you. A secret to success. Dreams, goals, knowledge. Athletes, you're being taught something already. If you're not an athlete, forgive me for saying this, but if you're an athlete or been in any kind of activity, you're being taught something you have to learn. You can't just go swing a bat. You can't go kick a ball. You still have to study. You got to know plays, knowledge. You can't just do it. You can't go through classes without it. Knowledge. And then the last one is action. Be willing to put in the damn work. Be willing to do the work, put in the hours.
I encourage you to take advantage of the backdrop back here. We have a first generation frame that you can take pictures in. If you have questions for Harvey, we hope that you can join us here in just a few minutes down in our student leadership and luncheon. And that's going to be down over here in room 352, right down the hall. And again, thank you, Harvey. Let's give him a round of applause.